Hello everyone, welcome back to 48 Now. I'm your digital host, Tatiana White, and I am joined today by the CEO of Girl Scouts of North Central Alabama, Karen Peterlin. How are you doing today?
Oh, great. Thanks for inviting me.
Yes, thank you for coming. And so this year marks a major milestone for one of the oldest Girl Scout camps in the country, Camp Coleman in Trussville, Alabama, which is celebrating its 100th anniversary. For generations, it's been a place where girls build confidence, skills, and lifelong friendships. I'm joined now by Karen to talk about the legacy of Camp Coleman and the exciting celebration planned for this historic occasion. And so let's just start with the basics for those that are unfamiliar. What is Camp Coleman and why is this 100th anniversary such a big deal?
Okay, so Camp Coleman is a beautiful, iconic refuge, I can say, for girls of all Girl Scouts across, North Central Alabama. The camp was a dream of Gertrude Coleman and her husband and many others in the area, to have a place where girls could go and spend their summers. Yes. And so in 1925, they purchased 166 acres, and now, 100 years later, we're still celebrating that place for girls to have those special events.
That's awesome. That's amazing that it's still around all these years later and still like younger generations are now, enjoying it.
So Camp Coleman is probably the third oldest continuing operating Girl Scout camp in the same location.
Wow.
And it really has a rich history. It goes back all the way to William Gordon Crawford, who was the president of Tennessee Coal and Iron, a forerunner of U.S. Steel. Wanted to be able to have for families, for retention of workers at that time. Think about 25 years ago, a CEO thinking about retention and family life. Hired Winifred Collins, and Winifred Collins was going to be the social director. And then Winifred wanted to be able to have activities for children. So Girl Scouts became one of those children's activities, as well as community gardens, as well as establishing churches, good housing, and thinking all of those things to good retention for families. And so he was a forerunner. Yes. His aunt was Juliet Gordon Lowe, which was the founder of Girl Scouts.
Oh my
and
gosh.
That's how Gertrude Coleman, who the camp is named for, was named the first commissioner of Girl Scouts of Jefferson County.
Amazing.
Back in 1924. Unfortunately, she never got to realize her dream of camp. She passed away in childbirth. But her husband and several other leaders in the community kept her legacy alive.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That
they continued her legacy even after she passed and like made her dream come true. So
and we
awesome.
still, there's so many things, that from old traditional Girl Scout activities to new activities that girls do today.
Yes, and implementing that into this like old ground and like it's like the newer and mixed with the older and like even the younger generation are now gonna get to appreciate what was there before. So.
The traditions.
Yes. And so how has like the Girl Scouts over the past century, like how has this camp kind of grown since then?
Well, we grew, so the piece of property, the camp was purchased, or the paperwork was signed on March 12th, 1925. That first summer, on July 4th of 1925, 23 girls and 8 counselors came to Camp Coleman with 2 buildings.
Wow.
And so from those 2 buildings, we have grown to many camp units, probably almost 50 buildings that are on the camp now that serve as housing areas, unit housing for girls to stay, a full-service dining hall, and we've grown from just little cabins to heated and cooled spaces.
Yes, that's needed.
Yeah, so we've evolved through the ages, and most recently, our headquarters moved on to Camp Coleman just a year ago.
Wow.
So our Girl Scout headquarters is now also on Camp Coleman.
Wow, okay, so you guys have it all over there.
Oh, absolutely. So you have the best place in the world to work, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, awesome. And so what role do you feel like Camp Coleman has played in like shaping generations of young girls? Because it seems like it's a very prominent thing for young girls in this area.
So, we all can think of the influencers that we have in our lives. and we think about the power of a place, and we think about the memories that are formed. So you think about girls going away to camp, and normally going away to resident camp, girls go on their own, and they don't go with their Girl Scout troop, but they go on their own. But the memories and the friendships that they establish during that period of time grows throughout their lifetime.
Yeah.
And then also the memories and the activities that girls learn when they go as a troop. You know, the luxury that we have in Alabama is that girls can go to camp all year round.
Yeah.
Very, very little time. You know, December and
Yeah.
January, not so much. But year round, troops get to go to camp. And whether they learn archery, whether they learn to canoe, whether they ride a horse for the first time, whether they strike a match and light a fire for the first time. Those are always those firsts and those memories that they carry forever with them, as well as the friendships.
Yes, I love it. And do you actually have any personal memories or stories that stand out to you from Camp Coleman and its history?
So, you know, I'm not from Alabama, so I grew up and my camp, my Girl Scout camp, was Camp Archibald. So Camp Archibald is the second oldest continuing Girl Scout camp in the same location. But I remember from, you know, my days as a Girl Scout, just, you know, my friendship, my troop. I still have connections of today with girls that I grew up in my troop. But my special memory of Camp Coleman is just its location. It's located on the Cahaba River, so it's on a very diverse ecosystem, and we have like that's on our T-shirt here, a swinging bridge, and it's, you know, girls get to bridge from one level to the next over this bridge. It crosses the Cahaba River, and we were able to restore it 3 years ago back to its original splendor. And so, you know, I think of the many girls that crossed that bridge over the years, and before the bridge, the little barge that they had to go across.
Yes. That's so sweet and
yeah.
symbolic. I love that.
Traditions are a big part of what we do.
Yes, I love it. And so what can attendees expect at the 100th birthday bash tomorrow on May 3rd, and how can they register or attend? I know that it got postponed due to the inclement weather, so what type of activities, I guess, can people expect?
So in fine Girl Scout fashion, the weather's not cooperating with us. So we're going to pivot a little bit to make a one-day event into 2 days event, to a 2-day event. So tomorrow, Saturday the 3rd, from 10 to 2, we're still going to, you know, be available. We're going to have more of an open house feeling. We're going to do more of the indoor activities. You know, we'll still have, you know, still celebrate birthday cake.
Yes.
We'll still be able to do some traditional Girl Scout activities, and then Sunday from 11 to 3, we'll do the outdoor activities. And so so people can still register the day of the event, show up.
Perfect.
We'll register that day, and if you want to do more inside, come on Saturday. You want to do more outside, come on Sunday.
Yes, and can people register for both days or
Sure.
just one? Okay.
Come one day, come both days.
Yes, okay.
You know, show up at the gate.
Yes, and is this for like all ages are allowed to come?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Anybody that's ever been to Camp Coleman or ever thought about coming to Camp Coleman, come and visit us.
Yes, awesome. And can you tell us more about like the special activities that you all have, like the bridging ceremony and the vintage memorial memory showcase?
We do. In our dining hall, we have memorabilia from across the years. So we have memorabilia from across the years. We have a wood burning session where the girls and the adults can be able to, you know, make a Christmas ornament or make a keychain. We have songs, which is a big Girl Scout tradition, is songs. We have storytelling, and so we have a bunch of events for all ages.
Yes, I love it, and it's like all memory based too. Like
Sure.
they get to keep these forever. I'm sure you probably remember some of the songs you learned.
Sure.
And so what makes this event so meaningful, not just for like current Girl Scouts, but also for like alumni, like the families of Girl Scouts?
You know, again, like I said, there's not more a special place for Girl Scouts than the Girl Scout camp. even if you've never been to Camp Coleman or you've never attended camp at Camp Coleman, your Girl Scout experience wherever you went to camp, you can walk on camp that day, and so many memories will come back to you from that day. I just think it's an opportunity for girls and their families, and whether they're current Girl Scouts, thinking about Girl Scouts, never been a Girl Scout, just to have the opportunity to come and see activities from what girls did 100 years ago to what girls do today at Girl Scout camp. Quite a difference.
Yes, I can imagine.
We're on the Cahaba River, and so there's a section of the Cahaba River that back in the 20s and 30s, what we refer to as the pool. And so girls would swim in the pool. Well, we have a real pool now.
Yeah.
In addition, though, but girls still love to swim in the river.
Yes, I love it. Now they have like 2 different options.
Absolutely. You can swim in the river or you can go swim in the pool.
Yes. And so how does Camp Coleman kind of reflect like the broader mission, I guess, today of Girl Scouts of North Central Alabama?
So, again, the Girl Scout mission is to develop girls with courage, confidence, and character to make the world a better place.
Yes.
I think what the important part of whether being a Girl Scout or being at camp is that all-girl environment. So girls with their Girl Scout sisters have the opportunity to try new things, so they can discover new activities, they can learn about new activities, they can connect with other girls, and then they can take action to make the world a better place. And what safer place than in an all-girl environment with caring adults that they can succeed and fail.
Yeah, exactly.
It's okay. And then their Girl Scout sisters, if they, if they're learning archery and they sure don't hit the target the first time, the second time, or maybe even the third or fourth time, they still have encouragement from their Girl Scout sisters to, continue on until they finally hit the target, and then that's a special time when they hit that target.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they're in a safe, judgment-free zone.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Yes. And so how can former campers, alumni, or community members get involved in the celebration or support the camp's future in any way?
Sure. If you have any time on Saturday or Sunday, surely come to Camp Coleman and visit us at Camp Coleman. But if not, visit us. Go to our website, www.girlscoutsnca.org. Visit our website. Look at how to join, how to get involved. We always are looking for adult mentors and volunteers, whether it's episodic, whether you have a little bit of time and you just want to volunteer to help share your talents and skills with our girls in special events, or if you want to have a longer commitment and be a mentor and be a leader in a troop, we have that. There's all kinds of opportunities.
Yes, that's great, because everybody needs a good mentor, so.
Yeah.
And so what does it mean for you personally and to the Girl Scout community to reach this 100-year milestone?
For me, to be part of a 100th anniversary, this is again, once in a lifetime.
Yes, for sure.
There's not many places that turn 100 years old. But to think about, Girl Scouts has been, has celebrated 112 years, 113 years actually, and Camp Coleman is 100 years old.
Wow, yeah.
And to think about, how many girls were influenced, how many girls had the opportunity, how many girls that, carry those life skills and those leadership lessons that they learned with them forever. Yes. Not many organizations can say for 100 years
that
they had the same mission, and they never kind of drift. They stayed true to that same mission for 100 years.
And how many girls and women, just the generations, it's so many, so that's amazing.
And we have lots of Girl Scout generations. We have multi-generational Girl Scout families, whether it's 2 generations, 3 generations, and some go 4 and 5 generations of Girl Scouts in their families.
That's awesome.
And then you know what? it's okay.
Yeah.
If you don't have a Girl Scout history, you're still welcome to be part and be a first-year generation Girl Scout.
Yes, and start the legacy for
That's
your own
right.
family.
Start your own legacy.
Yes, exactly. Well, is there anything else you'd like to share about Camp Coleman, Girl Scouts, anything we haven't touched on?
You know, I really, for me, the mission that message that I would like to share is that, you know, Girl Scouts is a real opportunity for girls. And our founder, Julia Gordon Lowe, said that, you know, we had to remain flexible. We had to be able to change with the times. And we have stayed true to that mission. So, you know, girls can get the opportunity to see, you know, they respect the traditions but then also chart their own path.
Yes.
Whether it's into science, technology, engineering, math, whether it's into, you know, forensics or whatever, coding,
Yes.
you know, whatever areas girls want to go into, Girl Scouts is that place
Yes.
for girls to be.
Yes, and I love that Girl Scouts provides that because it gives girls an opportunity to know that they can do anything that they put their mind to. So,
Absolutely. And I will tell you, as adults, our girls challenge us,
yes.
and they want us to be able to help allow them to lead us.
Yeah.
You know, the older the girls go in the program, the more active roles they play in their troop.
Right.
And so by the time they're in middle school and high school, you know, their leaders basically are mentoring and guiding,
Yeah.
but the girls are, directing their own program, where they want to go, what they want to accomplish.
Yes, and that is such great preparation too for adulthood and going to possibly college or wherever they are deciding to go. So.
Some of those basic adulting skills
Yes.
they can get right here in Girl Scouts. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yes, thank you so much, Karen, for joining me today. And I loved hearing everything about Camp Coleman
Sure.
and Girl Scouts and all of that experience. So thank you.
Yeah, come visit us sometime.
Yes, of course I will. And so thank you all for tuning into 48 Now, and make sure to check out Camp Coleman's 100th year anniversary and celebrate this historical moment for Girl Scouts of North Central Alabama. I hope you all have a great rest of your day.